Hello, sports fans. This is the Dog. Christmas week 2011. Hope you had a nice weekend. Getting psyched, I bet, for Santa. You better be good because he's on his way. Hey, high school basketball, both boys and girls, we're going to zero in on the basketball teams on this show. Congrats, kudos goes out to the Miners Academy boys, Pelmac, the DeSales boys, Clyde Savannah. They're off to great starts. Congratulations to the boys basketball teams. Keep on playing good. As far as the girls basketball teams go, Newark, Waterloo, Geneva, Pelmac, HAC, Harley, Ellendale, Columbia, that stands for, Bloomfield, and my hometown, Lions, playing good in the girls division. Keep on playing good basketball as we near the Christmas break. Well, I was telling a couple of my buddies this morning at breakfast before the taping of this show that you got to give credit where credit is due. You know I'm not a big fan of Doogie Marone and the SU football program, but you got to say this about the SU basketball program. Okay, they never really worry about talent. They get a lot of talent every year from across the globe. They look tough against Carolina State. They led by 14.5. They were toying with them on their first really road game. And Carolina State got that game within 3 with about 5 minutes to go, and then night, Syracuse puts on a run. They are so deep. They play 10 to 11 guys every game, and they all can play. SU impressive, very deep, very talented. Syracuse #1 and deservedly so. And of course, they're going to trip up. They're not going to go undefeated. Don't even start thinking about that. But they got a fine basketball program. Well, I have to laugh, ladies and gentlemen. My good friend Judge Joyce Mahoney, the fine judge that resides here in Seneca Falls. I'm glad I've never stood in front of her as she has handed out sentences to the dog, because she would send me away forever. But I have to laugh at the Barry Bonds. I recall, maybe it's because I have this amazing ability to remember things. I remember when Barry Bonds got arrested, indicted for obstruction of justice, perjury, and a whole list of other complaints. Ah, yes, the federal prosecutors put out their chest and said he's going to serve time. 2.5, 3 years maybe. Really? Is this considered cruel and unusual punishment? Let's talk about the lady judge that handed out the sentences to Mr. Barry Bonds. I'll go very slowly. Are you ready for his sentences? Okay, he's on probation for 2 years. Bad. 2-year probation. That is horrible. Oh, also, part of her sentence to Barry Bonds, a $4,000 fine. $4,000. I understand one of his attorneys left $4,500 on the chair in the courthouse as they departed, a $500 tip for the judge. Are you kidding me? He made $200 million as a baseball player. She fines him $4,000. Really? Oh, 250 community hours. He can go play catch with Jimmy Senecropi and all the rest of them at various community centers throughout the West Coast. That's a severe punishment. And I love the last one. A 30-day house confinement. 30-day house confinement. You got to wear one of those little things around your ankle. 30 days. By the way, folks, that has been appealed by his attorneys. He's got 6 attorneys. And oh, by the way, the Ninth Circuit won't hear that case for 2 years. So that won't go into play, if it ever goes into play, for a period of 2 years. Now, before you start thinking that severe, the fact that you're going to be confined in your home, I live in a condo, pretty good sized condo. Jimmy Senecropi's got a nice house. But Barry Bonds has a 15,600 square foot home. He has a swimming pool in his house bigger than Waterloo. He has maids. He has a butler. He has limos. He has a Rolls Royce. He goes like this, and you don't turn on lights, that clap-on thing. He slaps his hands, and people come running to him. What would you like tonight, Mr. Bonds, for dinner? Filet mignon? Give me a break. It is so absurd, this judge handing down what is not considered cruel and unusual punishment to Mr. Barry Bonds. What's the moral of my story on Barry Bonds? They say you can't buy happiness with money. You can certainly buy getting out of jail with money. It's obvious to me that he or she who has tons of money in this country get away with anything they want to get away with. People who are poor, down to their last dollar, would probably spend a couple years in a slammer. Not Barry Bonds. 30-day house confinement, $4,000 fine, community service, yippee-yi-yay, and 2 years of probation. What a freaking joke. Well, what's not a joke is in my broadcasting career, I've had the opportunity to go to Syracuse and interview some of their fine athletes. The case of me going down and interviewing Donovan McNabb when he left Syracuse years and years ago was one of my big thrills. Donovan is an engaging young man, a smart guy, sharp, big smile, great guy. Really is. Superb athlete. Of course, drafted by the Eagles. Finally, the love kind of wore off with him in Philadelphia. They traded him to Washington. Didn't seem to make it with Washington. Bye-bye. They traded him to Minnesota. Bye-bye. You would think Donovan McNabb has a little bit left in the tank. Maybe this much in the tank. Certainly enough in the tank to maybe be required by some of the teams like the Bears, but nobody called. Have you ever done what I've done, waiting for a call from somebody, and you have that phone that you walk around your house or apartment with that's on your little table to your left, and you're waiting for a call? I've done this many times. I pick up the phone because the call hasn't come in yet, and you push the on button, and you hear a dial tone. Yep, the phone's working, but nobody's calling. Guess what? Donovan McNabb, nobody called for his services. It looks like the end for a great guy, Donovan McNabb. Pretty sad. Well, I don't know what's sadder, talking about the Giants or the New York Props. Oh, Tommy Coughlin, listless, no fever, no enthusiasm. Manning looked horrible. The running backs looked horrible. No offensive line. The defense looked terrible. Rex Grossman? The Redskins come in and pummel the Giants in New York in a game that the Giants needed very badly. What can you say about Tom Coughlin? Last week after their stunning victory against Dallas, 37-34, you would have thought they could beat the Redskins. I don't care if you win by 50. Just win, baby. Sorry, Al Davis. Just win. They looked horrible. For all you Tom Coughlin fans, and I am one of them, it's obvious Tommy has to get into the playoffs or he is out. Whether Tom wants to continue coaching, he's 65 and a half years of age. He may not want to. But I know one thing's for sure. The heat's going to be on Tommy Coughlin all this week leading up to the Jet game. And again, Mr. Morrow, the president of the Giants, has said, no playoffs, no Tommy Coughlin. We'll have to wait and see. But they looked absolutely horrible. The New York Props, the Jets. Oh, were they toyed by the Eagles or what? I watched some of that game, and you would have thought black and white. Black being superb, white being horrible. Black being the Eagles. They toyed with the New York Props. Sanchez and the Jets looked like a JV team compared to Michael Vick and the Eagles, as the Eagles stomp all over the Props. And Rex Ryan, boastfully as he does, we are the greatest. We're heading to the Super Bowl. Oh, you going to go buy some tickets? Come on, folks. Rex, give me a break. Stop talking. Your team sucks. All right? And you start thinking about Rex Ryan and the way he acts as a head coach when he should come out and tell the media their team is lousy. He keeps saying they're great. Could he be 5 blank squares away from a bingo? Could he be? Think about it, folks. Rex Ryan has got to stop talking about how good his team is. They're not that good. Can you say fix? F-I-X? Yes, fix. I never thought I would say this, but Scott Trickler, my buddy up at Lizards, is true. I believe the fix was in on the Kansas City-Green Bay game. Fix, fix, fix. Are you trying to tell me that the Packers going to Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City could not beat those hapless Chiefs? Fix. The fix was in. That's all I'm going to tell you. Indianapolis, hooray, hooray. Get out the champagne glasses. They beat Tennessee for their first win. Yippee-yi-yay. And New England blast Tim Tebow. Goodbye. Tebow looked good early, looked horrible from the second quarter on. They just toyed with the Broncos in Denver yesterday. And I know everybody's picking on Tim Tebow about calling Jesus and referring to God and Jesus this and Jesus that. It looks like Jesus didn't pick up his call this past week because Tebow looked like an amateur out there. Well, ladies and gentlemen, what can I tell you? I'm not an NBA fan, but I got to tell you something. For you fans that do follow the National Basketball Association, the Clippers picked up Chris Paul, and you put him with, in my mind, the best NBA player pound for pound in the entire league, Blake Griffin. It should be exciting basketball. It'll be interesting to see who does as well. The Lakers, the Clippers. Did I think you'd ever have me say that? Who's going to be better in LA this year? The Clippers or the Lakers? Watch out, Lakers. The Clippers look good. Well, you know, it's a festive time of the year. As we move into our Christmas, I just want to take a minute and thank our sponsors that sponsor this show, Weber on Sports Express. My good friend Billy Ryan at the Cayuga Lake National Bank, been a friend of mine for 4 decades. He's got offices in Union Springs and Aurora. Cayuga Lake National Bank, a fine sponsor. My other friend, Amy Padula, Seneca Falls, her family's been sponsoring my shows for 25 years. What a great time to go see Padula for your hospitality needs. You want a certain bottle of wine to go with that meal you're planning on for Christmas Eve or Christmas Day? Amy Padula, Padula's Liquor Store here in Seneca Falls. My good buddy Rich Rickey from the Wilson Press. Rich and myself go back to the 60s. We were classmates at Miners Academy. Wilson Press for all your printing needs. And of course, Steve Wadham at the Wadham Enterprises, all fine sponsors of the Weber on Sports Express. I truly appreciate their support on doing these shows, because without them, we wouldn't be able to do this. And from all of us at FingerLakes1.com, Jimmy Senecropi, the president and owner of Finger Lakes One, and his staff, from all of us, please enjoy your holiday season as it approaches in a few days. Put your arm around your loved ones and wish them a Merry Christmas, because as we all know, life is fleeting. And I'll tell you something, folks, give that relative or that son or daughter, whoever, an extra hug. It is that special time of the year. What does the dog expect for Christmas? Some more black coal, which I deserve. Hey, folks, it's always been a slice. Don't forget, Dog and Paulie coming up Wednesday. Connie Sowards and hopefully the mayor, Diana Smith, will be with us. At least we'll get a couple representatives from the village, and we can only say that for 12 more days before the term village is no longer used as it relates to Seneca Falls. So that'll be coming up on the Dog and Paulie podcast this coming Wednesday. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, Merry Christmas to you all from the Dog. Ho, ho, ho. That's a look at sports my way.